Hello, everyone. We are all doing great today. I'm really sorry that we cannot meet in person today, but I'm going to give you a little bit of an explanation that hopefully will help you in doing your individual reading. All right. Now, as you have read in my instruction from Microsoft Teams, you're supposed to be reading works by some authors. We have Ted Chiang, we have Arthur C. Clarke. We also have who else? Um, Wait, why did I forget all the names? William Gibson, yeah. So we have those names, those works, and I hope you have chosen which work you want to read for this week. Now, as you read those works, I want to give you a little bit of an introduction about the genre that you are now reading. What is the genre? It's called science fiction. Now, what is science fiction anyway? I believe you are all familiar with this genre, although you might not know the definition of the genre. So now it's my job, I guess, to introduce to you the definition of this genre. And what is science fiction? Science fiction is an imaginative genre that usually offers exploration of future possibilities. It's about life in the future, life 200 years from now, and so on. And sometimes it also offers a picture or a description of an alternative world. Sometimes it's an alternative universe, or sometimes it's an alternate what universe, like the one that you have in Doctor Strange, for example. It shows us the multiverse. And what is also common is it often asks the question of what if? What if the world is already destroyed by some sort of tragedy? Or what if the world has become so advanced because of some discovery of, for example, a substance called vibranium and so on? So those are the characteristics of science fiction. Next, you might also be wondering what kind of themes do we have in science fiction? Well, as you have seen in movies that you love, or novels or short stories that you have read, we have so many science fiction works that are about artificial intelligence. Sometimes it's good artificial intelligence that helps the character solve problems, like in the case of the MCU, we have who is Mr. Stark's companion? Oh my God, I forget his name. I even actually remember the general artificial intelligence that is Rogue, like the Ultron. Okay, I remember the good thing Friday. Is it Friday? The name is Friday, right? And there's also space exploration. We can find a lot of science fiction works about exploring the vast space and universe. Um, the most famous one happens to be Star Trek, which I don't know if you have watched it or not. It's been several decades now. There's also a good amount of science fiction works that talk about time travel, about going to the past to fix some problems. It's the most famous one is Back to the Future, of course, but we can also find newer science fiction works in using this theme. Even Endgame from MCU is also about that. There's also another theme called Utopian Impulse. It's about hope or expectation of a better future situation. It imagines an ideal society where things are better. That's Utopian Impulse. And Utopian Impulse is also something that we can find even in dystopian science fiction works. Dystopian means science fiction works that talk about a future where things are already ruined, bad, like post-apocalyptic scenes, like zombie apocalypse or nuclear apocalypse, and so on. And the third theme is reflection on social hopes or fears. You know, Like today, we use natural resources so much that we are afraid of a future where we don't have any more resources. Like in Wall-E, the world doesn't is not livable anymore because we have taken all of the resources. Or our fear if we keep sending satellites into the orbit. In Wall-E, we can see the orbit filled with trash, with so many, so many satellites. So these are common themes in science fiction. Now, the third thing that you guys need to know is what is the connection between sci-fi and science and technology? So there are several connections. Now I'm going to summarize only three elements. So basically, sci-fi movies are rooted in scientific principles and technological ideas, of course. However, they make some changes to those scientific principles. Now, here is the difference between sci-fi and fantasy. We often see a lot of fantasy movies or fantasy stories. They talk about things that are not possible, just like in science fiction. However, the difference is fantasy works are usually rooted in the fantasy, mythology, mysticism, and things that even now cannot be explained well by science. However, sci-fi stories are usually rooted in scientific principles. Although the authors make some changes to the scientific principle so that something which is actually impossible looks possible in the science fiction work. That's what we call novum. Now, the easiest example of novum is this story in Jurassic Park, where you can get the DNA of dinosaurs from mosquitoes trapped in resin. Now, that is actually reality. You can get mosquitoes in resin and you can get the DNA from that resin. However, there is a change. There is a new thing in the movie, which is using that DNA to create or to do cloning to create other dinosaurs. That's the novum in Jurassic Park. Now, your job is to find the novum in any science fiction works. Some change that is made on the scientific principle so that something that is supposed to be, well, unbelievable, becoming believable. Next, the third thing is science fiction work is always grounded in reality, grounded in the science today or social science. But of course, they try to imagine it. They hyperbolize it to make it extraordinary. Something which is actually normal becoming not normal. Like in the movie The Meg, the Megalodon. It's a story about one area in the Mariana Trench where you don't actually, well, there are organisms down there, but they hyperbolize it. They make it extraordinary by putting a shark from the prehistoric era in that area. So you hyperbolize something which is actually a reality. All right, now the last thing is what is the impact of science fiction on our society? Apparently, science fiction works influence the way or our attitude towards technology and innovation. We sometimes want to rethink our technology or our innovation today because of science fiction. For example, AI is now a very common thing in our reality. We have ChatGPT, we have Gemini, we have Copilot, and so on and so forth. But science fiction makes us rethink those innovations and make us see it from a different perspective. We try to be critical. We try to be thinking about the negative impacts on it of it because of science fiction. Now, that's also that's the first thing that with which how science fiction impacts our society. The second thing is science fiction often inspires us or inspires science scientists to explore, to make discoveries. There is one very famous work by Jules Verne called 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea that talks about a travel under the sea for the entire world. Now, this story inspires future researchers or scientists to explore the Earth because that story tells us that we don't know much about our underwater actually. And the third thing is it actually promotes creative and critical thinking about our world. This is somewhat related to the first one. Because of science fiction, we becomes critical towards things that we consider common in our reality, like uh, the use of internet, the use of gadgets, the use of artificial intelligence. We try to be critical, and we are made to be critical because of reading science fiction. If you read science fiction by Ted Chiang in the short story collection Exhalation, you will think about the internet. You will think about our dependence on gadgets and so on and so forth. So those are the impacts of science fiction on our society. And hopefully now, as you read these science fiction short stories, you can also try to think about our society and how those works have the traces or how those works are also influenced by our reality today. All right, everyone. Thank you. Happy reading. Looking forward to hearing your comments on those short stories that you are now reading. Bye, everyone.